Yeah, so last year, the Trump administration withdrew from its nuclear agreement with Iran and reinstated sanctions against them. And they said that they were going to take punitive measures against countries that continue to purchase Iranian oil. But we gave out waivers to a number of different countries. And now we're basically saying that we're not going to allow any waivers, that anybody who purchases oil from Iran is going to face sanctions. And the big five countries that are at question here are China, India, Turkey, Japan, and South Korea. And as partly as a response to this, which because this was not expected by the markets, oil is up to $74 a barrel, which is a 6-month high. And interestingly, the Trump administration has not kind of wavered in the face of that, but have said that they expect that to decline as U.S. oil production, as well as elsewhere in the world, will rise to compensate for those prices. Um, I don't necessarily think that sanctions are the best way to deal with Iran, which has had a consistent history of murdering and threatening Americans. But insofar as you're going to have sanctions, I think the fact that we're going to enforce them and make them meaningful, or at least try to make them meaningful, and that we have a we have an oil and gas industry here that has the capability to not leave us at the mercy of uh, hostile regimes, I think is a that is something that is a very good situation to be in versus being totally at the mercy, which we were, even 20 years ago.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this is going to work out, in part because when I used to write more about the foreign policy aspects of things, I mentioned something like, well, if you could actually have an embargo on Iran that worked, that would be a really interesting mechanism of change. That would be a use of force, but a use of force that is much more appealing than killing a whole bunch of people. And killing a whole bunch of people is sometimes necessary to protect your rights, but I'll be really interested to see how it plays out. And I don't know enough of the specifics to know what elements I think are a good idea and what aren't. But except that the general idea of of having a policy that's trying to get at the right goal in the sense of at least protecting America from any threat emanating from Iran, that I like that general direction. And then I like the idea of trying to do something not not violent if but at the same time being effective, versus when people just say, "Oh, let's just do diplomacy and let's just send somebody to talk there," but there's no real leverage. That seems very dubious to me. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out.